What is going on, guys? Welcome back to 410 Gaming, and today we got a brand new exotic into the game, the Ruinous Effigy. It's a brand new trace rifle that got entered in. We knew it was coming. It was on the Season Pass, and it's one of the Season of Arrivals exotics that we're going to be getting. And the quest dropped today. Super pumped. We knocked it out just in a matter of hours, and now I wanted to put together a full guide to help you guys get through it as quickly as possible and give you guys some tips that are really going to help you complete it much faster along the way. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do is head to your Prismatic Recaster where you can pick up the quest. Make sure to pick up the means to an end quest as well, because the first step of this exotic quest is actually to complete the interference mission, which of course is the last step in the means to an end quest line we've been doing for the past few weeks. Now, for the week that this is dropping, I just wanted to add that this is actually the first time that we've had the contact events on Titan, so it is kind of fun to head over there and get some of the new stuff. But you have a few different options this time on how you want to get your umbral traces for one of the steps, and one of the options is Escalation Protocol, and another is Reckoning. We tried it out on Escalation Protocol, and we only got 3% by completing the first level 1 mission. I highly recommend that you hop into Reckoning instead, where we managed to get over 70% of our traces in just one Tier 2 run. From there, once you have completed that, you can move on to continue the interference quest as usual. Once you complete it, you'll be awarded the next step in the exotic quest line, the Pendulum step. For this step, you're going to need to find calcified light fragments and kill Marionettes, sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, Marionette champions on either Io or Titan. For the calcified light fragments, you're going to have to travel to the 4 planets, Mercury, Titan, Io, and Mars. Once you have landed on the planets, you can pull up your ghost or your nav screen, and you'll be able to see markers that are similar to the patrol markers but have no icon on them. Travel to these nodes where you'll find the calcified light fragments and be able to collect them. These do have specific locations, but we had no problem finding them on our first time around the map, as they do have about a 200-meter range in which you can pick them up on your nav screen. They don't have infinite range, so if you are missing a few, be sure to go around, and just remember that there's 5 on Mars, Mercury, and Titan, and 10 on Io. There's also at least 1 in each of the zones on each planet, so make sure that you travel around to each one until you hit 5 or 10 respectively, depending on what planet you're on. Now, the Marionettes are also very easy, and I highly recommend doing them along the way as you're going around getting the calcified fragments. These will spawn almost like little public events throughout Titan and Io, and they spawn on the normal spots where a contact event would be. Now, they do not spawn on the contact event, so don't go to the contact event that is active, but go to the locations where one could spawn, and that's where you'll find them. Now, for this week, I highly recommend doing this on Io because Titan is actually the active contact event point. There are no contact events this week on Io, meaning that all of the contact event spawn points are available for Marionettes to spawn on. Io also is a much larger planet and has more spaces for them to spawn compared to Titan. There are also a couple tech notifications like Shield Taken Disruptors have arrived, or Taken Blight has spawned nearby, or anything like that, and that's going to tell you that these events are around. Simply search them out, complete the rather easy mechanic, and you'll be able to kill one of the champions. Now, there won't always be a champion outright. Sometimes you'll see Taken Blights or you'll see Taken Bosses known as Disruptors. Those are what you're looking for, and be sure to kill them, which will normally spawn a Marionette. I would also like to point out that there is another quest that got released today as well called Exodus Preparation, and although it has nothing to do with this quest, it does require you to go around to each of the planets and complete one weekly bounty in order. Me and my team did this alongside collecting all of the calcified light fragments, and it made it a lot easier and definitely saved us time between doing them separately. You're going to all the planets anyway, and we were able to knock out the weekly quests while we were running around collecting the calcified light fragments anyway. So if you're trying to save time and be efficient, I highly recommend doing that quest at the same exact time. Now, once you've collected all 25 calcified light fragments and you've killed 15 Marionettes, you'll be awarded the next quest step, Feed. This step has 3 requirements, which includes Gambit or Reckoning completions, Void kills, and Precision multi-kills. Just like before on the Gift step, I would highly recommend doing this in the Reckoning, as completing a Tier 2 Reckoning gives 20% completion, meaning that you only have to knock out 5. There are also a ton of enemies in the Reckoning, which helps give you great progression towards your multi-kill requirements as well. I'd highly recommend using Gnawing Hunger here, especially if you have one with a good roll such as multi-kill clip. My team and I were all able to complete our Void multi-kills before completing our 5 runs, and only had about 15% left on my Precision multi-kills. If you're left a few points short as well on the precision multi-kills, you could easily just hop into another Reckoning match, or you could go to Shiro Chi, which is a popular method for farming kills, where we were able to knock it out in just an extra run or two. Once you have finished this up, you'll be rewarded the Shape Step, which essentially just requires you to return to the Umbral Decoder and turn in the quest where you will receive your Ruinous Effigy.
I'll think of a real name later.
Now, before we actually take a look at the gun and hop into some testing, I also wanted to let you guys know that the Catalyst is available right now, and you can obtain it simply by going into any map and getting a kill or two. In order to complete the Catalyst and to be able to equip it, you will have to go around and get either 5,000 kills with the weapon, which is just ridiculous, or you can go around and shoot all the Sabathun eyes that have been appearing on the different planets. There are 50 total, and each one counts as 100 kills. So even if you wanted to kind of just get some of them and then get kills for the rest of it, either way you can complete the Catalyst pretty easily. Alright guys, so let's take a look at the actual weapon. This is a trace rifle, and it is one of the most unique exotics that we've ever seen before. Let's just look at the general perks at first. Hammer forged rifling, we know the range, particle repeater, stability, composite stock, stability, handling. This thing shoots like a laser, just like most trace rifles. But the real thing comes into the transmutation. So basically, final blows with this weapon collapse victims into void transmutation spheres. So basically, it's going to drop these orbs on the ground, and you're going to be able to pick them up. Once you do pick them up, they act as their own type of weapon. Just like a normal orb, you can slam things with it. You can go around, light attack people, melee, things like that, blah, blah, blah. So if you look here, you can see all the different things you can do once you've picked up one of these orbs. You do put the gun away, and you pick it up like it's its own weapon. And you can do a light attack just like you would with any normal orb you pick up in PvE. This light attack seems to do about 3 times your standard melee damage, not your charged up energy melee, but just a standard. If you were just meleeing things on repeat, this will do about 3 times that damage, which is good. And then it has a heavy attack, which is like a slam, you almost like a Titan slam, it looks like, and it does a big AoE damage to anything within range, which is super crazy. We'll go over it a little bit. We'll take a deeper look at that in a minute. And then the final thing is you can hold the left trigger, which will actually do a guard and drain nearby combatants. Now this is where it gets interesting, because this decreases the amount of damage that you take drastically from what I've seen so far. I don't have any exact numbers for you yet, but it does decrease the amount of damage that you're taking significantly. And not only does it decrease how much damage you take, but it actually heals you if you're damaging enemies within that radius. You're actually taking less damage, killing the enemies around you, and healing yourself the more enemies that you're hitting. You can see here, I run into Greg's room, I start getting destroyed, I pick up one sphere, kill just a little nobody on the side, start using the guard ability, instantly heal myself to full while killing all the enemies around me and avoiding all damage. As you can see, the enemies also seem to have some kind of daze effect where they don't even attack you while they're healing you. Like, this just seems super overpowered, and I'm super excited that they added something like this to the game. It has so much versatility, especially when combined with the Catalyst. Now, the Catalyst on this weapon also adds a very unique feature to this, where weapon deals increased damage against targets damaged by the transmutation spheres. Now, what does this mean? If you put down a sphere, someone picks it up and either slams on the guy or just stands there and uses the guard on him over time, constantly reapplying this debuff, anyone else using this weapon is going to do increased damage. So if you had a full team of these, someone could essentially stand on the boss and deal damage with a sphere while the rest of the team did a DPS phase. Furthermore, even if you didn't have a full team and you're the only one using this, say you have someone who's using a shotgun or using a sword and they're playing up close, you can actually stand back with this weapon, laser some enemies from afar, and create orbs for that person, and they can pick up the spheres. You don't have to be the one that picks up the sphere. Even if they don't have the gun on, they can pick up the sphere, activate that guard ability, heal themselves up, kill everything around them if they're getting swarmed by enemies or it's getting a little too hectic, and then use it to slam an enemy and continue slaying out with their sword. The survivability behind this weapon and the support options that you can offer your teammates by dropping spheres for them, say in a Grandmaster Nightfall or something like that, really adds a lot of versatility to your playstyle and could be extremely powerful if used with great synergy and the right team. Now, I also wanted to hop in and take a look at how this could play into Crucible as well. And I didn't see as great of effects, and it is a little harder because you do have to create the orb and then pick up the orb, and it's a lot more like systematic, and I don't think it's going to work generally across the board. But the heavy attack with this will actually kill any Guardian within the 5 meter or so range from full health. So if there's a bunch of people on a cap point and you kill one going in, pick up the sphere, run in there and slam on them, they're going to die. Also, with the guard, you actually prevent them from hitting any precision shots on you. Now, first thing that came to mind, snipers. Yes, this works for snipers. Snipers cannot headshot you while you're using the guard, which just seems like at some point that could be broken if used the right way. They can't even two-body you because of the damage reduction. You would have to 3-tap with Revoker to kill an enemy out of this. So I'm excited to hop into Crucible really and dive in and kind of see how some of this stuff could play out. But I just wanted to show you guys some of those first findings that right when I got the gun, first reactions. And in PvE, it's going to be a beast, especially at just high skill cap, I think, for players who really understand how it works and know how to use it well as a team. And then in Crucible, like, I'm sure there's going to be montage clips that come out that are just nutty with this thing. Insane plays, high IQ stuff. So I'm excited to use it some more this week. Maybe some more guides coming out on our findings once we really get to dive in and play with it for a week or so. Would have been great last week in Iron Banner, but you know what it is. But hopefully this helped you guys out. If it did, please drop a like. Please consider subscribing. We have all kinds of new great videos coming out. We hope to see you guys around on the wagon. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.